guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial using the brand new Morphe 35O2 palette. I just got this beauty in the mail a couple hours ago and I had to sit down and film a video with it because these shades are just gorgeous. But yeah, so I'm super happy with this palette so far. I love how my makeup turned out, so I hope you guys enjoy this too. I also wanted to say one more thing. My microphone, the part that actually records me, I accidentally left on the floor, so it might be a little bit echoey for the first like 5 minutes of this video just while I'm doing my eyes. Anyways, if you guys aren't already, then I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel, and if you guys want to know how to get this makeup look, then just keep on watching. Okay, so as always, my eyelids are already primed and I use the MAC Soft Ochre paint pot. The first shade that I'm going to be using today is called Orb, and I'm picking that up on a Sigma E40 brush and putting this in my transition area. Just putting a super light wash of color down up here and also using a really light hand because I don't want to go in with too much since we are going to be using a bunch of different crease shades. Then I'm taking the shade Heat, which is probably my favorite shade in this palette. It's a really pretty deep, like fiery red shade, and it's just gorgeous. So I'm using a Morphe M505 brush and I'm putting that in my crease. Also making sure to bring this shade all the way into the inner corner and then fan that out pretty far towards like the edge of my brow. Then I'm taking the shade Chestnut, which is also a beautiful color. I'm using the shade on a Morphe M518 brush and layering that right on top of that shade that we just used, just keeping a little bit lower. Okay, now just to deepen up the crease a little bit more, I'm using the shade Brave, kind of like a deeper, almost like a plum shade, and I'm using this on a Vasanti eye contour brush. This is the number 4. Basically just like a miniature blending brush. And then I'm also going to start packing this shade into my outer V. And I'm only taking this about a third of the way in on my eyelid because we are going to have shimmer shades from about here to here. So I'm only taking that in about a third of the way. Okay, so now before I deepen up my crease anymore, I'm going to start to cut the crease. So for that, I'm using my Tarte Shape Tape. You can use any concealer you want to do this. Any concealer will work, but I suggest using a concealer that's a little bit creamier and one that doesn't usually crease on you, because if you do have crease in your eyelids, the concealer might crease. So I basically just started in my inner tear duct and then cut it about halfway through my eyelid. And I'm also doing this so that when I look straight ahead, you can see the line above my eyelid. So I kind of have a little bit of like, I don't want to say I have hooded eyes, but I do have a little bit of like a hood right there where my crease disappears. So I like to go above that so you can see when I'm looking straight ahead at you, you can see the whole concealer. And then I just draw that right above where my crease is. You stop it about right at the arch of my eyebrow. So I know I made my line pretty straight, but honestly, you don't have to worry that much about how straight the line is because we are going to be going over that line with glitter, like as you see in this eye. So don't worry too much about how straight that line is because it is going to be getting covered up anyways. Now I'm taking the shade Pure, which is this beautiful pure gold color, and I'm not using any Fix Plus. So I'm going to be putting this on my entire inner half of my eyelid. Oh, this shade is so pretty. And the brush I'm using, by the way, is an Anastasia A2 brush. Okay, so that is what it looks like without any Fix Plus, but I am going to go in with just a little bit more and some Fix Plus just to make it even more metallic. Okay, now I'm still using the same exact brush and I'm taking the shade Zippy and I'm going to put that right in between that maroon shade and the gold shade. And to start blending these two shades together, I'm going to pat over that line just because I don't want it to be a harsh line at all. I want it to be a perfect like fade into that color. So I'm just going to pat right over it. And I'm also going to pick up a little bit more of the first gold shade, Pure, and pat over that again. And then I'll flip my brush over and do the same thing with the other shade. Now I'm going to take more of the shade Brave and just deepen up that outer corner. Also going to take this on a super tiny brush. This is a Morphe M507, and run that right along the top of that cut crease to give it some more dimension. And then I'm also going to take a little tiny bit of the shade Whiz and pack that in the very, very outer corner. I probably could have just went right in with this shade to begin with in my outer corner, now that I think about it, but that's okay. And a blending brush, and I'm blending over those top lines. Okay, so I just cleaned up the bottom with a makeup wipe to get all that followed off, and I know it looks kind of janky right now, but I'll fix it later when I have my face makeup on. Now I'm going to put the glitter on my crease, and I'm using the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter. This is in the shade Midnight Cowboy. This is my favorite glitter ever. It is so pretty, and it's super easy to use because it has a really nice applicator on it. It's very small and precise, so it makes your job really easy. Basically what I'm just doing is being very careful and going very slow and just drawing this right on where I made the line for my cut crease. And I'm also only bringing it to where the copper shade ends. I'm just kind of like flicking at the end of it, so it's not like a super harsh stop. Alright, now for eyeliner today, I'm using the Inglot Gel Eyeliner, my favorite eyeliner ever. It's super, super black, and I'm using a Sigma E06 brush. Then for lashes today, I'm going to be using the Flutter lashes in the style Intoxicating, and I'm just going to put these on off camera because I put them on in every tutorial, so you guys are probably getting sick of me explaining how I put them on. Okay, so my eyes are done except for my lower lash line, but I just realized that my microphone was not connected to me. This, which connects to my shirt, and I always turn these two on, but I forget to connect this to me, so it just sits on my floor, and I just totally don't even think about it. But anyways, so I'm going to work on my face now, and then I'll come back to my lower lash line once my foundation's on. To prime my face, I'm using the Fenty Beauty Pro Filtr Primer. I can't really tell if this primer makes my makeup last any longer, but I do really like the way that it makes my skin look. It makes it look very soft. I'm just gonna use about a pump and then just dot this around my face and rub it in. Then for my foundation today, I'm using my current favorite foundation, which is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation. I finally got this in a lighter shade. If you guys have watched my last couple of tutorials, I've been using the, I think it's called Natural Beige, and it's just a little bit too dark for me, so I finally got the shade Nude, and this one matches me pretty good, so I'm gonna be using this today. Then I'll just blend that in with my Beauty Blender. Like I said in my last video, I love this foundation, but it is not a full coverage foundation. So if you don't like foundations that don't offer full coverage, then you might not like this foundation. Then for concealer today, I'm using my Tarte Shape Tape. This is in the shade Light Medium Honey. Just gonna put this in the center of my face to brighten up a little bit. Then I'm going to be setting my face with the Too Faced Born This Way setting powder. So I used my damp beauty blender to press it in underneath my eyes and then right in my T-zone, and then I'm just using what's left over in the cap on a fluffy brush and just dusting that all over the rest of my face, just so that my face isn't like sticky from the foundation and concealer and stuff, and it just makes it easier to put like bronzer and blush and stuff on top of it. This setting powder seriously makes your face look so soft. It doesn't really control my oil. That's the only downside to it. So that's why I really just like to put it underneath my eyes. But when I do put it everywhere, like if I don't need my makeup to last like 8+ hours, I love setting my entire face with it because it just makes your skin look so soft. I'm also taking a little bit of the transition powder on a fluffy brush. This is a Morphe E22, and there was kind of like a little bit of a harsh line in there that I wanted to get rid of, so I just took a little bit of powder and I'm just slowly just buffing that around to kind of blend that out. Okay, now I'm going to be lining my lower lash line with the Marc Jacobs Highliner Gel Crayon. I think that's what it's called, and I have the shade Blacker. And then I'm taking the shade Brave and I'm going to stamp that in. And then I'm gonna take the shade Heat on a Morphe M506 and buff that out. Oh no, there was black on this. Okay, let's try that again. Then I'm putting some mascara on my lower lashes. This is the Sephora Outrageous Curl Mascara. I'm gonna bronze up a little bit, and I'm using the Benefit Hoola bronzer. I haven't used this bronzer in forever. The brush I'm using is a Morphe M527, and I'm just gonna be bronzing up the outsides of my face. Okay, now for blush, I'm using the Anastasia blush kit. I have the shade Radiant, and I'm gonna be using the more peachy toned one. This is the shade Coastline. These blushes are super, super pigmented, so be careful when you dip your brush into them. Just putting this on the apples of my cheeks and then dragging that backwards. I'm also gonna pick up a little bit of this pink shade too, just because the shade is super pretty. Okay, then I'm gonna put a little bit of cream highlight on. I'm using the Too Faced I Want Candy. This is the Kandee Johnson collab that they did. I actually have never tried this, so I'm super excited to try it out. I love using cream highlighters underneath my powder highlighters because I feel like it just makes it so much more intense. This is gorgeous. And to set that down, I'm using the brand new Anastasia Glow Kit. This is the sugar one, and I think I'm gonna use butterscotch. Also putting a little bit on my nose and my cupid's bow. I'm gonna put some under my eyebrow too. And then I also wanted to do an inner corner highlight, and there's not a color in the Morphe palette lighter than this gold shade. So I'm gonna be using MAC Nylon. It's this one right here. It's the inner corner highlight that I use basically every single day. And this is a Morphe E36 brush. To line my lips, I'm using the Colourpop Lippy Pencil in the shade BFF. Pretty sure I've been using this lip liner in the last like 5 tutorials, and I didn't even realize, but it is my favorite lip pencil. It's so pretty, and it matches like every lip color, and it's also only like $4. And then I'm using the shade 101 from Makeup Forever. This is their liquid lipstick. Then last but not least, to set my face, I'm using the Laura Geller Spackle Mist Setting Spray. Okay guys, so that completes this makeup look. I really hope you guys like it. I love how this turned out. I'm loving this palette, and I cannot wait to play around with more of these shades. They're all so beautiful in here. If you guys want to see any more tutorials using this palette, I can for sure do that. Just let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.